Hi there. My name is John Baumgart, and I'd like to provide my thoughts on Bitcoin. I've been absolutely amazed tracking this, especially in the past couple of days, weeks, months. It's been insane. As I'm making this video, Bitcoin is around 9,500, and by the time this video is around, it could be 10,000. I mean, now it's beyond a doubt it will reach 10,000. Over the weekend, the price jumped up about $1,000 to 9,500. So now it's only 500 away. And generally, the big round numbers like 10,000 are psychologically significant. So it definitely wants to go there. The market forces that are driving it. So there's no doubt in my mind it'll reach 10,000. Everyone is talking now about a bubble and everything else. There's a lot of interesting videos. I wanted to provide my feedback and be very objective. The biggest thing that I've seen when I watch videos and the comments that people make is people often say, oh, well, you don't understand Bitcoin. This is technology. It's going to revolutionize things. Yes, it could very well be the case, but I have a fairly good understanding of markets. It's my background. I've been involved in them for a while, and I have a pretty good understanding of euphoria. And what makes me nervous is when people, and I'm not saying it's bad to be excited, but when you're overly excited and not thinking about the other side. And the kind of general rule of any type of investing is to think of the risks first, and then worry about how you can do well making money. So if you're looking at the stock market, you want to say, okay, I'd like to invest, let's say $10,000. Based on the market's performance, when would I exit the market or get out? After what point when my investments fail? You don't want to say, oh, right now is a bull market. How much money can I make? It's what everyone thinks, but it's not prudent in investment advice. And so I see this going on right now with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The thing, if you study any type of investment that's really paid off, it's been the early adopters who've been rewarded the most. And many say, oh, well, this is still an underground thing and there's a small percentage of the population. But even if I'm making a video on this, the cat is out of the bag. I mean, you can look at, if you turn on Bloomberg or watching the finance shows, now they're talking about Bitcoin. And the way usually it goes is if that's on TV, even Big Bang Theory is doing a whole episode on Bitcoin. Floyd Mayweather and Paris Hilton have gone into cryptocurrencies. From everything that I've seen, it's too late. And I'm not saying that Bitcoin or this technology doesn't have promise, but this is not the hidden secret anymore. That was, back when the thing was first adopted, and you have that story about the guy who bought a pizza for $20,000. That was the time. But as an example, the financial crisis. If you look now, anyone who got into the stock market when it was crashing and just stayed there would have done very, very well. Same with housing. All those things recovered. Now, who knows 10 years later what's going to happen. But those are the ones who made the most. And I'm not to say, but we don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. It could very well go to 50,000, a million, 100,000, any number. It's the trying to interpret market forces and psychology is next to impossible. So we don't know what's going to happen. But what I can say in general is, the euphoria, not looking at the risks, and the fact that everyone knows about this now, generally, from most standpoints, it's harder to make money then, when everyone is doing it, when everyone is getting in. Because you have to realize someone is going to sell it to you. If you're going to buy Bitcoin now at 10,000, someone has to sell you Bitcoin. Who's going to want to buy it at 20,000? And who's selling it at these prices? So these are all things to consider. Long term, I think the technology is good. But I would urge caution, just blind euphoria, saying, oh, this is, the greatest technology ever, and it's going to change everything. The same was said in the dot-com era, and it's true to an extent. internet companies are really changing things, but there was the initial euphoria over them caused a lot of people to lose their savings and a lot as they got wiped out in that. And that's what I've learned from my experience when I caution. And I think, yes, it's good to understand the technology, but it's also good to understand euphoria and the cycles that drive things. Why now? Could anyone offer an explanation besides I feel speculation as to why Bitcoin is worth so much? I think a lot of people aren't using it to buy things. They're just excited that the price keeps going up. And to me, that raises the one challenge I see right now, is I call it liquidity challenge. And what I mean by that is, how easy can you convert Bitcoin into money? Earlier in the year, and I don't have any regrets because I didn't know no one knew this would happen, but earlier in the year, I converted 1 Bitcoin into Amazon points. And it was a hassle. It was not easy. I had to first take the Bitcoin, go onto a site that I didn't know, send a little bit of it over, and then once the money landed on that site, which was like a gift card site, I had to then get the gift card. Not easy. There's many exchanges now, but it's so new, it's so nascent. We can all think of Mt. Gox, and as a side note, to anyone who looks at Bitcoin and regrets it, I think you'd have to be very, very lucky if you got in early that your coins weren't hacked or didn't come down in an exchange. When this first came about, it was all new, and all those risks there's a risk. My biggest concern is Bitcoin keeps going up, and a lot of people on paper are doing well and worth money. But how easily could you take, let's say, if you have $1 million in Bitcoin, how easily could you cash that in right now? That's the concern I have. And I have an account with one exchange. I don't have a lot, to be honest, but I'm preparing, to see how easy it would be to cash it out. And to open this account with the exchange is not easy. It was at least a week. There was a lot of paperwork involved, and the most I can take out is per month $50,000. So if you're a millionaire in Bitcoin, is it really that easy? Could you buy anything enough worth $1 million? Would someone? I don't. This is one area where I'll say I don't know, but I perceive it as a risk if it's so difficult, for the average person at least, to turn this into cash or something else. And you may say, oh well, I'm just going to hold on to it and keep it. That's what concerns me. The biggest thing is the rapid rise in price. From everything I know about markets, is that it won't go on like this forever. And it's not to say that it's done, but there will be a correction in price, and the longer it goes up, the more downside it has. Keep in mind, if something can go from 1,000 to we're approaching 10,000 in 6 months, generally price drops in markets are faster. It could easily drop down to half that wherever it goes. And then what will happen is people will scramble, and if it's so difficult, what I feel, to get money out, that can make even more of a problem, that the exchanges that do allow you to cash out could crash. I don't think they're prepared, because like anything, when something new happens, it's not like 1 or 2 people withdraw money. If the price crashes, everyone's going to want to get out at once, and that could overload the servers. Who knows what will happen? So these are all the things that I feel are concerning to me. Do I think the technology is interesting and has long-term impact? Absolutely. I think it's very interesting to follow, but this does remind me a bit of the dot-com bubble, and I would caution those, especially now when the thing is at 10,000. Like getting back to the main point I made, generally the biggest money is made when something's a secret, when something is not talked about by a lot. The fact that this is all over, that I've even making this video, is a warning sign that, hearing people about mortgaging their homes and all this crazy stuff, you could very well, become a multimillionaire, and hey, say I was wrong, I'll take it, but everything I've seen has told me otherwise, and that I would warn those who are considering this to be very, very careful about that. Really, I think, explore the cryptocurrencies, but don't risk a whole lot, especially now at these levels. Even just to get a tenth of a Bitcoin now is almost $1,000. Be very, very careful, because it's just, think about reality. If unfortunately life doesn't work the way that everyone just puts their money into something and they all become rich at the end. And you might call me a naysayer. There are a lot of people who make money off of this, but it can't go on forever with some correction. And so I urge caution. Good luck with your investing, and take my word. Now, I'm curious to see what will happen after I post this video. So best of luck. Bye.